even wear headphones right now. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. As you guys are probably well aware at this point, Chewbacca, the original trilogy Chewbacca, the OG Chewbacca, is coming to Galaxy of Heroes as a legendary event. I know I'm a bit late to reacting to this, got a little busy, but I wanted to let you guys know my input and feedback and my thoughts on this event, and I'm also going to talk to you guys about the most accessible bounty hunters that I think will be very helpful for this event and some other thoughts about that. And we also have some other big news that I want to talk about as well, such as the Marquee rewards, as well as Sith Raid changes to the rewards. So here we go. There's that notorious Lego picture we had. We kind of looked too much into it, and we thought we needed 4 llama to complete the set. Kind of cool how close we are. Bounty hunters needed for a legendary Chewbacca. We were pretty close. No 4 llama in the equation. I wonder if they will add him to the game one day. But let's take a look at the rest of this here. And pretty much here, they confirm that Chewbacca is going to be a legendary event, and you will need 5 bounty hunters to complete this legendary. So probably something very similar to getting Grandmaster Yoda, R2-D2, Emperor Palpatine. Just get 5 characters within a certain faction, and you can use that towards unlocking this character. So that's kind of cool. And the cool thing is there's a lot of free-to-play bounty hunters that have been free-to-play for a very, very, very long time. But here's the concern that I'm kind of having trouble with, is that he won't be easy to take down. This will be a very difficult event that will require well-geared and modded bounty hunters. Luckily, there's a way to get a head start. We'll talk about that. So I'm hoping this event isn't going to require some of the top bounty hunters in the game right now, which are pretty much Jango Fett, Bosk, and Embo. But I'm hoping that they kind of keep that in consideration and allow the free-to-play bounty hunters such as Boba Fett and IG-88 do some good work in this event. But they're giving us a bit of a head start, but I'm not sure how much of a head start it is. It might just be more like a cutesy celebratory thing. But they're pretty much saying here is that starting this weekend, if you do your light side and dark side hard nodes, which pretty much all of us are doing right now because there's way too much hard node stuff to farm right now, but as you're completing those missions and you're farming your stuff, you're going to get bonus drops of bounty hunters such as Embo and Aura Singh, which seems kind of enticing, but from previous experiences, bonus drops on hard nodes, what are you looking at? Maybe an extra shard, extra 2 shards if that. So I don't think this is going to be an efficient way to quickly get characters like Embo and Aura Singh to at least 5 stars to unlock the legendary Chewbacca. So we'll talk more about the free-to-play bounty hunters in a moment here, and they actually have a little post here showing that this event will take place from the 21st of September, which is Friday or tomorrow, and it's going to run through 9/24. So it's going to run about 3 days here. And really, the things you probably want to aim for are probably stage 7 for sure. Bosk, a lot of people might have him already at 5 stars, close to 6 stars. Some of you guys might be in the close to 7-star range. So stage 7 is looking really tempting. But if you're someone who didn't get to buy Embo or Aura Singh to 7 stars, 5 stars, 6 stars, I'm not sure if this is going to be an efficient way to farm those characters. So really, when we're going to talk about the easily accessible bounty hunters, we're not going to really talk too much about Embo and Aura Singh, because chances are you're not going to farm them fast enough during this 3-day bonus period unless they're giving you like 10 shards a drop or something. But nevertheless, I'm pretty sure Capital Games structured the event where it's difficult but not too hard that our free-to-play bounty hunters won't be able to achieve. And with that in mind, let's go take a look at the bounty hunters that I think you might want to start looking into. I'm going to show you my roster real quick right now. Now, the fastest bounty hunter, if you're looking for that last bounty hunter that you can farm really quickly, it's going to be Cad Bane. Now, he's not a horrible character at this rework. He's not amazing. He's kind of in between here. And here you can get him straight from the Galactic War Store. So super easily accessible. If you farm him 3-4 times a day, you can get 15 to 20 shards of this character easily. So if you're looking to get that 5th bounty hunter really quickly, Cad Bane is going to be awesome, and he does have some good stuff. He has stuns, he has the buff dispel, he can attack multiple times, so he's a pretty good character, and I think he will be. I mean, pretty much all these bounty hunters are decent after the rework. There's not one horrible rework, but out of all the reworks we got, Cad Bane's the least impressive, but he's a fast farm, and I'm thinking he's going to be all right. But moving on from there, we have Dengar. Now, Dengar is going to be a bit harder to farm. He's in the guild store, so he kind of just shows up out of nowhere here and there, but he got really good after his rework, and especially because thermal detonators can't be cleansed. Highly recommend to get this character, especially for the Sith Raid. He's really good. If you want to run a bounty hunter team in Territory Wars and Arena, he's amazing. Really, I love this guy, especially under a Jango Fett lead, and he can call assists and stuff like that. Really good character. He's a bit hard to farm, and this guy is difficult to kind of gear up. A lot of Carbontes and stuff like that, but I'm hoping Gear 10 can get the job done. Obviously, I'm going to show you guys my progression with the Legendary event, so we're going to come back and see if a Gear 10 Dengar can do the job to get us to a 7-star Chewbacca. And I have Bosk here. Bosk is amazing. He's the best, one of the best tanks in the game, and he's amazing for bounty hunters. Really juices them up. So I have him at 5 stars, so that'll be enough to at least get my Chewbacca the 5 stars with using Bosk, so I'm not too concerned unlocking Chewbacca. Embo, obviously pay to play. The bonus shards probably won't make much of a difference, so Embo's out of my equation here, as well as Jango Fett. Although I got the pack for Jango Fett, man, I wish I could use him. I got him the Gear 11, 2 Zetas, and all that stuff today, the day of release, because I was so excited about him. I love his kit. It's just unfortunate I'm not going to get this character to 7 stars. Unless you guys want to see me do a 7-star Jango Fett pack opening, let me know down below in the comments. I'll go ahead and open up so you can see the drop rates. We'll do some testing in my personal arena charts. If you're interested in that, let me know down below in the comments. Leave a like on the video so I can kind of gauge the enthusiasm about that. Never wailed out on a character before, so that'd be the first time if I ever did it. Boba Fett, this guy, he's probably the best all-around bounty hunter that we had. He really didn't get too much of a crazy rework this year, but he just got enough to be really good. That contract, my goodness, this contract, once it goes off, he does some big damage with his contract here, and I really like Boba Fett gets a bunch of speed and all that stuff, defense, penetration, very good. And again, this is a character, if you guys have been playing for at least a couple months, if you guys have been playing for a couple years, there's no excuse not to have Boba Fett the 7 stars right now in the Cantina store, so get him, highly recommend him. Best overall bounty hunter rework that we got, in my opinion, this year, but very good, and he's going to make the event probably super easy, and he's just a flexible character as well, so just besides the event, he'll be super helpful. And then there's IG-88, again, a super accessible, free-to-play character, Squad Arena store. I mean, again, you can get about 15 to 20 shards of this character a day, depending on how much currency you have in your stash, so another fast character you can get up, and I actually like this character. Although he's a very flimsy character, this year, I've really liked IG-88, his damage output, and I love that he has target lock synergy. He's up on my list to get a Zeta so he can pair well with Imperial Probe Droid and do work for my bounty hunter team. Very good character, and he's one of the few bounty hunters I took to Gear 12 because I really like him, and I think he has a lot of potential in the future of the game, especially if they make droids better. I think IG-88 will play a really good part. But now we're down to finding our 5th character, which is going to be Zam Wesell or Greedo, and either way, I think you'll be fine, but there's more of a clear-cut choice if you're looking for a fast farm. But really, if you want to get your team together really quickly, you have Greedo. He's in the Squad Arena store, super easily accessible. He got really good after his rework, especially for the Sith Raid, does very well in Phase 3 especially, but right there, there's plenty of free-to-play bounty hunters across the table that you can farm really quickly. You have Cad Bane from the Galactic War store. You got Dengar, from the Guild store, which will be the slower farm, so hopefully you have some good luck to get him a bit more frequently. You got Boba Fett from the Cantina store. You got IG from Squad Arena, and you have Greedo from Squad Arena. So they're kind of spread across the table, and I guess the only pain point would be to try to get one of these Guild store characters, the 5 and 7 stars in time, which is Dengar and Zam Wesell. But hopefully, a lot of you guys who've been playing for a couple months, or especially for a year plus, Zam Wesell and Dengar are probably things you already have farmed to 7 stars. But we'll find out. Start farming these characters, get these characters to Gear 8, Gear 9 minimum, because who knows how difficult this event's going to be. But the main thing you need to worry about is making sure you at least get your 5-star bounty hunters, which shouldn't be too difficult, especially if you've been playing the game for a couple months. Shouldn't be too bad. But now we're going to hop back over to the forums and talk about a couple more big things now that we kind of got the sweet tooth out of the way. And I want to talk about the Marquee rewards. First of all, this Jango Fett event was amazing. Best Marquee event I've ever played in the game. This is the first time I actually wanted to sit down, play it manually, and play with the associated faction with the Marquee character. It was a lot of fun, plus the rewards were amazing. Carbantes, mod slicing stuff, stun cuffs, a ton of great stuff. And so thank you, Capital Games, for doing that. Hopefully you do it more, but I had seen the question today all over whether this will be the new standard for Marquee events. So we're going to read this post today by SB Crumb, which, by the way, great job for hyping the community the past few weeks with all these new characters. But he kind of recites himself that there's been discussion whether the rewards for the Jango Fett Marquee Plus will be the new norm for all Marquees moving forward. So I want to take a moment to set expectations. So they alluded to before that by the time the Marquee fatigue had become apparent, we were already too far underway with making Jango's event to change it to be something structurally different. However, we also knew that Jango was super well liked and that we had to do something extra to make his event special. Then they juiced up the rewards as a result of that. So then Carrie mentioned in this post right here, I'm not going to pull it up, but the rewards for Jango are special for that event and are not intended to be the new rewards for normal Marquees moving forward. That said, sentiment around Jango has been generally positive, so while we're not promising Marquee Plus events like this Jango Fett one, we may release it more in the future. So let's say, for example, they think Snoke isn't legendary, but Snoke is a Marquee Plus type of thing, kind of in that zone where Jango Fett is. They might do it again, but they probably won't do it for such a minor character like Embo or a Sing, but it is on the table, so hopefully they do it again. And I strongly urge Capital Games to consider it because, man, it makes marquee events a lot happier when we get this type of stuff. So let's wrap up this video by talking about the Sith Raid changes and giving my breakdown and reaction. But pretty much, people have been asking when and what are the Sith Raid changes. So these changes for the Sith Raid that we're going to read here, it's going to come alongside the legendary Chewbacca event. But today they're going to walk us through on how we are improving the Sith Raid to make it feel less time consuming and more rewarding, which is a good payoff. Hopefully it's actually going to pan out that way. The changes to the raid, and the first thing they're going to talk about is Annihilate in Phase 1 and Phase 4. All tiers, including Heroic, thank goodness. Nihilus' basic attack will no longer reduce the cooldowns of Drain Force. Oh, thank God. That was the most annoying thing. It won't reduce the cooldowns of Drain Force and Annihilate when they remove a buff. Thank you. It's so hard to predict now, and it's so annoying. You think you got something going, and all of a sudden it's like, nope, I'm gonna knock you out. Guessing whether Nihilus was going to attack a buffed ally and then chain into Drain Force was critical to not losing a character early in the fight, but it was easy to get caught off guard, very easy to get caught off guard. And Drain Force will still reduce the cooldown of Annihilate. That's perfectly fine, but you can predict and counter it with the careful use of Unbreakable Will. Yeah, it really was just the problem of him reducing the cooldowns when he removes a buff. That was the biggest problem. Sometimes he wouldn't use it. Very difficult. But the next thing that we got to talk about is the mechanics to Traya in Phase 3 in tiers 1 through 6. We have changed Traya's lightsabers to no longer dispel or apply debuff based on the buff they start with. The sabers will still have random buffs, but the adjustment will hopefully decrease the need to restart until they get the right combination of buffs on the lightsabers because of the paired debuff. So that happens all the time. Sometimes you see a bunch of buffs on the other team, you're like, nope, I'm not doing this. You restart the raid, or the applicability block, or days on your character, and you're like, nope, gonna restart, try it again. So the whole goal of this is to prevent the never ending restarts, because there's just so many restarts to getting a good run sometimes. So this is meant to make it a bit more predictable and a bit easier to get the time to completion down. And here we go. We actually have numbers on the boss health that's going to be reduced for tiers 1 through 6. So here we go in tier 1. Man, that's a huge reduction. Minus 95%. That's a huge change right there. Minus 90% for tier 2. Minus 85% for tier 3. Minus 75% for tier 4. Minus 65 for tier 5, and then tier 6, a minus 50% drop. And I think that's going to help a lot, because my recollection, when I did tier 6, there's a lot of health going on there, and it could take a while to finally get through all the health of the raid boss. So between the changes to the Nihilus and Traya being a bit more predictable and it being a bit easier to manage, and the reduction of the health for 1 through 6 of the raid, I think it's going to become a lot easier, more manageable for people. We'll test it and find out, but hopefully this alone will make people a bit more engaged with the raid, because sometimes I'm gonna admit it, when I do like a phase 3 run and it doesn't go right 20 times in a row, I'm like, screw it, I'm not doing this, I'm turning off the game for the day. Hopefully this deters that type of behavior. And now we get to talk about the raid rewards. The thing at the end of the day, you tell your wife when you're in bed, you tell your friends at work, you tell your dog when you're walking him, they want to know what's going on with the Sith Raid reward changes. This is kind of the fun stuff of the post. So hopefully we get the gear that we need, and here we kind of get some examples. The mod challenge reward has been added to tier 6 and Heroic, about 5 to 12 salvage pieces in tier 6 and 7 to 14 salvage pieces in Heroic. Heck, even though they're not too hard to farm, it's better than nothing. So we get all those lovely things. And now they're removing gear from the AAT reward box. Yes, the AAT reward box is horrible. Mark 8 electro binoculars, goodbye. Mark 8 biotech implants, goodbye. Mark 5 med packs, goodbye. Have a ton of those. And then Mark 9 Fabritech data pad salvage, goodbye. So today seems to be a good day for a lot of news, but you guys let me know down below. What do you think about the whole bounty hunter thing for Chewbacca? Are you worried? Are you concerned? Do you want me to do the whole Jango Fett thing where I'll buy Jango Fett, show you the drop rates and all the other fun stuff? A lot of questions I have, so let me know down below in the comments what you guys think. And if you did enjoy the video, go ahead and leave me a like, comment down below, and subscribe so you're not missing a thing. And until the next video.